You need to believe that you need to live in the vision of your future and not in the memories of your past. Because when you live in the future, the opportunities will come to you, the possibilities will come to you, because it's in the unknown that all these things exist, not in the memories of your past. So, if you're living with trying to live your life to get different things and using your memories to do it, or the things your analytical part of your mind, you can't do too much, because you're not allowing the unknown factor of what is possible to become the reality by thinking about the things that you already know, and not allowing the new things to come in, so that you can understand your potential, full potential, and ability to make as much money as you want and to have the life that you want and dream of.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for attending today's PDF webinar. My name is Radha Entry, and I'll be the moderator for tonight's event. Just a second, I have to admit a few people. Oh, before I begin, Washington, would you be able to administer anyone that comes in, please?
Yes, I do that. Leave it to me.
Thank you. Once again, good evening, everyone, and thank you for attending today's PDF webinar. My name is Radha Entry, and I'll be the moderator for tonight's event. The topic for today's talk is choosing the mindset to get everything you want. But before we start, I just want to give a quick introduction to PDF for those of you who might be new to us. Professional Development Forum, PDF, was established to help young diverse professionals reach their full potential in the modern Australian workplace. We believe that everyone, not just the elite few, should have access to the knowledge, mindset, and network to develop themselves. We believe that by becoming the best versions of ourselves, we lead a happier life, more fulfilling, and inspire those around us to do the same. We do this by running events that aim to inform, connect, and inspire, and share what we've learned with our community. I also want to quickly acknowledge our dedicated group of volunteers at PDF who are here with us tonight. Thank you very much for everything you do. Before we begin, I would also like to lay down a few housekeeping rules. Please note, this is a recorded session that may be distributed by social media at a future date. And also, I'd like to invite everyone to update your name and turn on your cameras so we can better connect with each other. And finally, if you have any questions during the talk, please feel free to feel welcome to type them into the chat box at any time. When we get to the Q&A part of the session, we will invite you to ask your questions. We'll aim to finish by 7 p.m. tonight. Tonight, we're very lucky to have Mario Pizarro as our special guest. He will share with us his beliefs and thoughts process that enabled him to go from a nail bender, that was his first job, really, to a multimillionaire heading up 12 companies and living a life most people only dream of. A little about Mario. From his first job as a nail bender, Mario has gone on to become a director of 12 companies, generating hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, and more importantly, transforming the lives of thousands of people in the process. Mario is a speaker and author who travels the world to wake people up from their unconscious limited lives so they can have a life that is limitless and rich. He brings his upbringing inspiring yet down-to-earth approach to the process of truly becoming rich. He is a deep thinker who likes to inspire the others to create the life they want. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Mario.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Okay, so thank you for having this meeting today, and thank you for allowing me to share my ideas and concepts, and I guess a bit of a history about what I've done and what I've achieved and where I come from. So to begin, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mario Pizarro. I live in Melbourne, and I've been now operating in a business which I now run for 24 years. I'm going on my 25th year. I originally come from Chile in South America. I arrived here back in 1976, and one of the 3 children of my family of immigrants that decided to leave the old country because we were under a dictatorship that lasted for 30 years, beginning in 1973. So I came here back in 1976, and without knowing English, I didn't know any friends, or left all my friends there. I didn't have any extended family, had no money. But when I came here, I thought it was a great opportunity for me to start a new life, and I didn't see these hindrances that would have seemed to some people, you know, been a bit of a hardship to start. But for me, it was just like a great opportunity to create a new life. So after arriving here and living in a hostel provided by the Australian government, where we got given a very humble accommodation in the hostel, and we were provided meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I started to meet up the other people that were living at the hostel, which were also immigrants from other countries, different colors and different languages. So it was quite good fun to me. 3 days after I arrived here, they put me through the normal school system, and I had to learn English in a hurry, obviously. And at the time wasn't easy, but the government again was providing some assistance with special English classes where they helped me along a little bit to learn. Soon after that, while living in the hostel, I met a British girl of around about the same age, who, after talking a few times and smiling a few times, I got close with her, and she became my girlfriend. So she taught me a lot of English, as well as some culture of her country, which was very interesting. And subsequent to that, I finished year 11 in the school, and I decided to go to work. We just stayed doing odd jobs for about 6 months, and later on my parents told me that I should really go and study something, because that was the reason why they came here to Australia. So I went to do an electronics technician's course, which I finished in 2 years. And after that, I decided that was it for me. I didn't want to go to school anymore. I decided that what I was learning to me was not going to help me, because the school system here, I thought if you'd study any kind of trade like this, I'd need to continue to study. And I'm a bit of a stubborn fellow that I believe in myself. I don't believe in the system. I don't believe what people tell me. So I thought I'll just try and do things on my own. And I went to work as the introduction says, as an nail bender. I asked my neighbor that lived next door to me if he knew someone who can give me a job, and he asked me to go and work with him, bending nails at a timber yard of Second Timber Yard, which was a demolition company. And I worked there for a year, and after that I decided to leave that job, because I thought, well, I'm not going to grow much more than what I'm doing here. I wouldn't get that much more. And I was always thinking, okay, so where's it all going to start for me? I was always thinking, okay, where's my break? And I went to work for a few other small companies, and at the time I was going to the gym. I was, making my body look better, and I used to train twice a day. I got invited by the boss of that gymnasium to help him clean and help around the gym. So I said, okay, so I decided to give it a go. So I started to work in there, and while I was working there, I was looking around how other people did things, and I saw the people in the front reception, which were good-looking guys and good-looking girls, and they're all dressed up nice, and were driving nice cars. And I asked the boss, I said to him, what do these people do here? And he told me they were the salespeople that used to sell memberships for the gym. And I thought, okay, that sounds quite good. I said to him, I'd like to be like them. Can I help you sell the memberships? And he said, no, look, you can't speak English properly. He said, you better just go back and help me clean the gym. Anyway, so I went back again, and soon after that, I gravitated into the reception area there once again. And then while I was looking around underneath the counter looking for something, I found this book, which was kind of my break. In there, I found a book. It was written by Tom Hopkins. He's a salesman, and the book looked quite nice. So I opened the book. It sort of opened up halfway in the middle, and I read a few lines in the book. And the thing that struck me there was it said to me was that sky's the limit. There are no limitations if you want to do something. And I quickly closed the book, and I thought, wow, this is what I like to do. I just didn't read anymore, but I thought that was enough for me. I thought I want to be a salesperson. So I quickly asked the boss, look, I want to sell you memberships. I know I can do it. Give me a chance and I'll prove it to you. But he said, no, look, go back to work. And I said, look, I will not ask you again. If you don't let me, I'm leaving and I'm going to go and become a salesperson. So he didn't. So after that, I found myself a job in a life insurance company, and I went to sell life insurance. And within the year, after learning that life insurance for me was purely just making cold calls to people I didn't know through the white pages, I became within 5% of this. Well, it was the biggest company, the biggest, financial company in Australia. And that was purely because I was very clear in my dream, very clear in my passion, very clear in my intention that I wanted to be someone that would make a difference. So I started to sell life insurance, and within 2 years' time, I already had 5 people working for me, and I built a very big house. By the time I was 24 years of age, I built a 400 square meter house, and I built a good business in there. And back in 1991, we had the recession that we had to have, and I lost everything, the whole lot. So I went to live in a rented house for about a year, and I thought that was a bit inconvenient at the time. But yeah, I picked it all back within 2 years. I was back again, making lots of money. And by the time I started this new business here back in '96, I became a multimillionaire within a year after I started doing that business. And since then, I've been educating people in the process of how to make money using just simple concepts, but mainly to explain to people that, you know, they need to look at their intuition as to how things really work, and not at the analytical side of things. Because most people live in the past. They tend to do the same things they do every day because they do have habitual habits. And when you do habits, which is just redundant thoughts that you get to do every day, you basically, in the end, you end up becoming to do things with your memory, and nothing that you are creating if you're actually using your memory, because the memory is just to take snapshots of your past. So doing this business here, I helped many people become also multimillionaires by showing them simple concepts on how to make money, how to believe in themselves, and how to grow rich, I guess, not only in the financial sense, but also in the sense of understanding that to have more, you need to become more. And that means you need to put your mind into things that you want to become in the future. At the moment, I believe that for most people in this current environment, they're kind of been tested in terms of who they will come out as when all these things with this COVID-19 finishes. To me, it's been kind of been a blessing again in disguise that this COVID-19 has allowed me to discover more things about myself, what I can do. And I always believe in that, I'm totally limitless like everyone else. No limits, no boundaries. Now, I can sit at home and make more money than while I was going to work before this thing happened. So, dream, believe, and grow rich has been my motto for since I can remember, and that's the actual title of my new book coming up. Because if you need to believe that, you need to live in the vision of your future and not in the memories of your past. Because when you live in the future, the opportunities will come to you, the possibilities will come to you, because it's in the unknown that all these things exist, not in the memories of your past. So, if you're living with trying to live your life to get different things and using your memories to do it, or the things your analytical part of your mind, you can't do too much, because you're not allowing the unknown factor of what is possible to become the reality by thinking about the things that you already know, and not allowing the new things to come in, so that you can understand your potential, full potential, and ability to make as much money as you want and to have the life that you want and dream of. So that's kind of snapshot of what I can share. And if you'd like to ask me any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions they might have about even themselves or what they would like to achieve or what they would like to have, and where is it they're blocking themselves onto at the moment, or what is it the problems that they have to achieve and the things that they want to achieve.
Do you mind if I ask a question right now?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Cool. Thank you so much, man. Firstly, thank you for the time. Like, I know that time is like the most precious thing that we have in life, so thank you for that. Now, say, what do you say for people who actually think and wants to have a lot more than the normal or the average people would think? Like the people who actually dream really big. Is it a harmful thing? Like, is there a limit to how much you can dream?
Well, dream is great, because when you dream, basically you suspend your limiting beliefs, you suspend your analytical mind. So dreaming is great, because dream is where the possibility is. So the bigger the dream, the better, because the main problem with the humans is it's not that they fail when they aim big, but is the tragedy that they get when they aim low. So the bigger their dream, the higher the target, the better it is for whoever it is, because the possibility is there. There's unlimited potential to any single person. We don't have any limits. We don't have any boundaries. Humans are totally limitless. So if you believe in that you can achieve anything you want, your dream is big, is great. I mean, good on you. That's very good.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Is there anyone, Zara, would you like to answer ask your question to the team? Sarah? Or would you like me to ask it for you? Okay, sweet. So Sarah's microphone doesn't work, so I'll be asking her question. And her question is, would big dreams cause disappointment?
Big dreams never cause disappointments, because big dreams are they're visions. So you've got to have visions for your future. And a dream, unless you have an expectancy of something, then of course expectations can cause problems. But dreams are, things that you attract. They're not things that you go and catch. A dream, you attract it with the way you do things. So a dream basically comes reality when you behave like you already got the dream, when it's already made reality. So all you do is attracting it. You're not catching it.
Mario, I have a question of my own. Aren't dreams and visions separate? Or are they the same?
Well, the dream is the vision. The dream is what you think is your target. What you dream is the vision. How you live is with your vision. So it's the same thing, because it's like a snapshot of what you want to get to. That is your dream. It's the same thing.
Sweet.
So how do you get started?
Well, you get started. I guess the first part is you need to understand who you are. You need to understand, where do you come from? You need to understand where is it that you're going after this. This life is a very, very small amount of time that we've got. By understanding, who you really are, is very important, because you need to ask yourself, you need to reflect about who you are, and knowing who you are, meaning that you're not your body, you're not your job, you're not your color, you're not your creed, you're not your religion, you're not your gender. You are just an energy body that is housed in by the body you've got, which it disappears every second. It's a new body every single second. You've got a new body, because it's a different body than the one you had when you were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So the minute you understand that you're not the physical person you see in the mirror, but it's just the vision of that person that comes to the light that reflects, and it becomes you. That's what you see, but that's not you. right? So you need to understand you're much bigger than the body that you are, where you're housed, right? So the person that you are lives inside the body. So when you understand this concept that, you know, you are not your body, you're not your job, you're not your education, then you start to think a little bit bigger and outside your five senses, you know, that only tell you that they exist when you are awake, not when you're asleep. But when you're asleep, that's when your real person is there. That's when the subconscious mind is alive. That's because you kind of lift all your beliefs that you are, you know, the person that you think you are, which is not what you see, what you hear, what you touch, but is what lives inside that body. So that's where you start.
Thank you, Mario. Aravind, would you like to ask your question, or would you like me to ask it for you?
Yeah, sure. I will ask the question.
Awesome.
First of all, thanks for offering me the opportunity to ask the question. My question is how to find the right resources to make decisions in both personal life as well as professional life. Nowadays, for an example, I can say, nowadays, I want to learn, for an example, I want to learn leadership. There are a lot of resources are available like events, webinars, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So how can I filter and find the right resource? It can help me to grow up in my life.
Okay, so, you know, like they say, if you knock, the door will open. I'd say that if you're in the path of learning leadership and you just keep searching, you can just go on the internet, search, and you just look at people, listen to audiobooks. Eventually, you'll find the thread. I mean, when I started to do this, which I'm doing now, wanting to get involved into the sharing my ideas on the internet, and I was purely just doing business and talking business, I started the same way. I started to look, you know, on the internet, and I started to look on the internet, and since then I've probably read about maybe 300 audiobooks. You know, I actually read one audiobook every single day. I listen to one audiobook every single day. So, you know, and that audiobook sends me to another link to go somewhere else, and then another link goes there, and eventually, slowly, I'm picking up ideas from every single audiobook. Then it starts to build the book and the pattern for me to start to get my own ideas on how to do what I want to do and what I'm doing right now. So, you know, this is really, it's the age at the moment is of the information. So, you know, there's no excuse for people that want to achieve something, or they're looking for something that they can't do it, because it's all there. It's all on the internet at the moment. I mean, now is a time where people can take their power back, because before we had all this information available to us, we used to rely on government, on, you know, our leaders and that, but now we don't need them anymore, because now we can get everything ourselves. But it's all purely by the searching. If you search, you will find.
Okay. Sarah also had another question. One of her questions was, what if I fail? Does big dreams mean, do big dreams mean guaranteed failure?
No, failure is just a temporary inconvenience. Nobody fails. Nobody fails. When you do something doesn't work, that's just you didn't get the right result. It doesn't mean you fail. No one fails. Nobody fails. People just get different results. Sometimes it's not a convenient result, but no one fails. Failure is a big word, and failure doesn't exist. Failure is when you give up, you never get up again. But if you're a human person like everyone is, we always got inside ourselves the will and the power to get up again and again and again. So no one fails. You just get a poor result, just get up and keep going.
Thank you. Kaylee Chu has a question, and Kaylee, would you like to ask your question?
Sure. No, it's just because Mario said he reads, 300 books and read a book every year. So I was just wondering what's the best book that you recommend us to read. That's all.
Oh, no, look, I listen to an audiobook every day, one audiobook every day. So, and I look at different audiobooks depending on where I'm going with my journey. But I'd say the book that is really interesting for the people that I'm hearing now asking different questions is, if you If you read the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, that's a very, very good book for people that want to start to do things. And the questions that I'm hearing, this book will be suiting quite well to those questions there.
Thank you. Sarah also has another question. Her question was, she failed her first business and lost all of her savings. Is that failure or that is not failure?
No, that's not failure at all. That's just a lesson. That's just a lesson for her to understand. Okay, it wasn't the right time. It probably wasn't the right job or decision, but it's not a failure. That's just a poor result. And all she has to do is just to continue in the path that she started when she started in the business, in the first business, right? And she has to still be passionate about what she wants to achieve or the essence of why she wanted to have the first business, and just go again. That's not failure at all.
Okay. You mentioned something about having what's it called? Have it being the right timing and not being the right timing to achieve something. I recently failed my driving P test, and the same thing was said to me by my driving instructor, and I didn't take well to that because I was thought, okay, well, though I didn't get it today, I still want to get it. You telling me it's not the right time makes me want to get it even more. So, and I just kept pushing for it, and she was like, no, it's not the right time. I'm like, I want to get it now. So what do you mean by that? Is that something that people should be actually limiting themselves? Are you saying human beings are limitless? Saying something like, okay, it's not the right time, so I'm not going to do it. Isn't that limiting?
What I mean is not the right time it wasn't the right time for her, because sometimes things happen to you for a reason. And sometimes, the things that you want to happen don't happen. So it's not about that you can't force the outcome. You just need to surrender in the process that it happens for a reason, and you need to say thank you. The result wasn't good, wasn't what I wanted, but it's okay. It's a result, which means there's a lesson in there. And you just got to continue to achieve and strive for what you wanted to do in the first place. Same thing if you want to try and get your license, you couldn't get it, and if you say, okay, I'm going to get it again, you will get it. I mean, maybe your instructor is talking something like that you're not prepared yet, or maybe that you haven't practiced enough. But if you're eager to get it, you just don't let anyone tell you. You just go and get it.
Yeah. Okay. Jeffrey, thank you, Mario. Jeffrey also has a question. Jeffrey, would you like to share with the team?
Yeah, I think the failure is an interesting concept, and just listening to what Sarah was considering, in terms of the business failure. I'd like to hear about how you can overcome, the mindset that, sort of tells you that I suppose, how do you overcome failure in your head? I think that's a very interesting concept that I like to get my head around.
Okay, so what happens in your mind when things happen? It's happened in the past, right? So you can decide to take the memories of the past and drag them along with you to do the things tomorrow and the day after tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, or you just let them go and say, well, that's what happened. That's good. It happened, and I'm just going to move on. Because the only thing that you've got, as you know, is the time that you've got right now. So what you've got right now is the most important time of your life, but this is what it is. But if you're trying to live the future with the memory of your past, you imagine what the future would look like. Will look exactly the same as what happened on the past. If you take it with you every day, right, you're going to be always remembering about what happened in the past. So the years go by and you're still remembering what happened in the past. But if you say, okay, that's an experience, it happened, now I want to live with the vision of my future, my new future. I'm not going to live with the memory of the past. And it should disappear. I mean, it's up to you if you decide to, if the memory or the feeling or the emotion is very strong in you, you just need to give it up, because that's what it is. Your mind controls your emotions control your body. So if you tell your mind, that not to remind about this emotion, and the emotion will just disappear. I mean, I lost everything, the whole thing, everything, the house, cars, everything, the whole lot. To me, I didn't care. To me, I'd never thought about it more than 2 seconds. And I just went and rebuilt my whole business. Within a year, I had it all back and 10 times bigger. I never thought about it. In fact, I don't even remember it. You know, and that's bigger than just losing a business. I mean, losing everything is including business, house, and cars and everything. That's a lot, but I never thought of it for more than a minute. I mean, I thought, oh, we'll just sell the house and get rid of it and just go and rent for a year or two, and then, you know, just got myself a really old car. And I really loved the old car because it used to blow up a lot of smoke, and it used to make a big fuss about, you know, cars. People in the home because my car used to blow a lot of smoke. I had fun with that too. So, you know, it's about how you think, how you decide and choose how to think, you know, about what happens to you in the past. If you want to drag it around with you forever, you know, and tell everyone the story about it, and it becomes, you keep on impregnating yourself in the future by remembering this event. And if it's not powerful, you can choose to use other good memories that happen in your life as well and tell everyone about those too. And you'll find out the more empowering one is talking about the good things that happen to you, not the bad things that happen to you.
That's very interesting. Thank you, Mario. Is there anyone else who would like to ask another question?
Can I, sorry, do you mind if I ask one more? Or is it like one
Not
more,
at all.
please? So for me personally, right? I don't care what the word tells me or anything like that. I tell anybody to pretty much go to hell. But it always hurts when somebody very close to my heart, because, you know, they are the one that really can hit you hard. For example, like, you know, if I fail something miserably, and anybody can tell me whatever they want to tell, I don't really pay much attention to that. But if it's my mother or my father or somebody really close to me that come and say something that really hurts, the question is like, you know, in your own experience, is there a way that you can sort of manage that kind of expectation from them in a nice way?
No, because you can't manage their expectations. You just need to know that people think different. Everybody is a different person. Everyone thinks different. You just need to do the best that you can. And if it's not up to their standards, that's just another critic. But you can't live based on what critics say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's been your parents or not, I mean, they brought you, came in through them into this world, right? You chose your parents. So if they make and they criticize you, it's fine, but you can't live because of what the criticism is. You just need to say, okay, thank you very much, I accepted what you've said, you know, but you don't believe it inside yourself that what they said is right. But you just say, you hear it, fine, thank you, and you just move on. You know, because I mean, the next time you're gonna say something really good,
yeah,
you're gonna do something good. They're not gonna say something good or bad. If they say something good, it doesn't have to make you feel any different, because remember, you create your emotions in the way you think. So if they say something you think about that's no good and you'll feel bad, so you're telling your emotions to feel like that with the way you think. But you can also say to yourself, well, that's a poor result, I accept it and I'll do better next time. But don't give those comments any more power than what the words that come out of their mouths, because deep down they don't mean to hurt you, they don't mean to make you feel bad. They should say something, and maybe you are taking it into with a different aspect. You're making it bigger than what they actually really maybe they meant it.
Okay. Thank you, Washington, and thank you, Mario. Derek has a question. Derek, would you like to ask the group?
Thank you so much, Rada. Thank you so much, Mario, also for your time. My quick question is that how important is it when it comes to building a team and building up your dream? Like how do you actually find and build an effective team that can help you when it comes to building up your vision? Is this something which is important, or is it something that you can mostly push onto yourself?
Well, you always need a team, because if you're building something big, a team is important to help you achieve what you want. If it's something big, and the way you build a team is normally by obviously choosing the right people, but then at the same time entrusting them with, giving them trust that they will do the right thing. So the more you trust your team members, the better results you'll get. The more you're trying to control them, micromanage them, then you probably get not a good result, because people like to do things the way they do things, and you just need to see the results they take or they have, and if you don't like them, you need to counsel them but always given the trust that they will do the right thing for you, and then let them know that you allow them to help you the way they can, and you just monitor the result. But you don't micromanage them, or you don't reprimand them too harshly, and you just need to understand that they're also people, and they all have good intentions, and you just need to allow them to make the mistakes sometimes they need to make to grow with you.
Thank you.
John also has a question. John, would you like to ask the team?
Sure. Would love to. Hey, Mario. One of the things that you often talk about that we haven't mentioned tonight is that you often say that people need to wake up, and it's part of your book. So why do you think that most people are not awake, first of all, and then what do they need to kind of wake up to?
Okay, good question, dude. Most people are living like in the past. Most people are living with resentments, with doubts, with fears, and most people are also doing things in routine, and they don't realize that the time is leaving them, that the life is leaving them, and sometimes they need to understand that in order to achieve something, they need to wake up, meaning they need to understand who they are and what's the journey, what is it that they're going to do in this life, what is it they want to achieve for themselves, and what they want to leave behind as a testament of them being into this world. And that time is a very important time for people to realize that who they really are in terms of the potentiality they have and the boundless, limitless ability they have to achieve anything they want.
So,
thank you, Mario. Oh, John?
I was going to say, so most people don't feel limitless most of the time. Why do you think that is? Like, have we been taught that way? Is it just something that's in human nature? Like, where does that come from, do you think? And what made the difference for you in having that mindset?
Well, most people have got beliefs, and beliefs are just thoughts in information that's been handed down to them by families, friends, relatives, schools, information that comes through the television, newspapers. So when people want to start to understand and allow those beliefs and information to come into their minds, they set themselves the beliefs pattern, beliefs that they can do and what they can't do. So those beliefs are thoughts that are normally just all redundant thoughts that is information passed on to them, but they allow that information to come into the mind, and they end up living their lives with those limited beliefs that doesn't allow them to move into bigger and better things, and they're frightened and scared to take the step into the unknown. In my life, actually, I'm totally the opposite way. I've never believed in anything that I see. I don't believe in what I hear. I always question myself. I always question things very, very deeply. And since I'm very young, I really don't have fear. I'm not even of dying. I'm never even scared of anything, because I believe that we don't die. I believe that people don't die. People just pass on to a different form of being. That's just something that it's inside myself, and I didn't teach myself. It just happened that I used to question this myself very, very intensely when I was very little, and from then on, a few things happen, and then I believe that we can do anything we really want to when we want to get to do it. And the answers are in the unknown. It's not in the history. It's not in the past. It's not in what things that we hear. It's not in things that you see on the television, on the news. Those things are just fictitious things that people want you to see. So the minute you believe that you are the person who can achieve anything, you don't need anyone. It's all in your mind. Everything belongs in your mind. You can create the life that you want. And like I said, in this particular point of time for everyone around the world, this is kind of a global thing now. People need to know that they can come out of this situation much, much better than before they started, because now they can truly sit themselves and they can reflect in themselves as to who they are. You know, I always tell people, you know, you need to know how to talk, how to have conversations, but that's not with other people, with yourself. Because when you know how to converse with yourself, how to tell yourself, how to question yourself, all the answers are inside you. There's nothing that exists outside a person that is more important than what exists inside a person. All the answers, all the revelations exist in the person within, you know. But you need to ask, you need to know how to talk to yourself, you need to know how to ask yourself the questions, and the answers all come out.
Wow. Thank you, Mario. Jeffrey has a question. Jeffrey, would you like to ask your question?
Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry, my questions actually changed after that. I find that really interesting because I do believe that belief is very powerful. You know, when whatever you seek, you'll find more of, and you know, and I do agree that too many of us have all these bullshit limiting beliefs that are given to us by people that you know, that themselves, you know, probably shouldn't be giving out advice. And so I guess what I was trying to get at is it what are the limits of what the belief can give you? And so I'll give you an example. So if I want to play in the NBA, right, probably a bit hard for me now that I'm sort of over the hill and getting a bit old. So potentially that's not a possibility. What are the limits of where the belief can take you? And you know, is there something that we just have to give up on?
No. Look, if you believe you can, you will. If you believe you can't, you're right, you can't. So even the question you asked me before about playing the NBA, you can, because it's totally possible. You know, your body, you can make your body into a 21-year-old body, even doesn't matter what age you are, because the body can do this. You know, you just need to know how to do it. You know, there are techniques, you know, there are techniques to actually, you know, bring your genes back to where you were when you were young as well, you know, but you need to understand how all that works, you know. And if you want to get a bit of a hint of how it works, how the whole thing works, is you need to allow yourself time to meditate. When you meditate, you can bring power and energy to your body that you would not believe how big it is, how strong it is. You know, it's just so important. And this is some of the things I've learned the last few months that I've been, you know, stuck at home and doing things and trying to do better for myself. Once I learned this thing here, which happened only about 3 months ago, you know, now I just can't wait to meditate in the morning. And I just, 1 hour meditation, it keeps my energy so high until from 4:30 in the morning till about 9, 10 o'clock at night. It's just constant energy that doesn't flicker. It's just high energy. And you know, that means when you got high energy, everything is good, because you're actioning different genes in your body that are pushing out different chemicals in your body that healing your body, that producing molecules in your body of energy and power that not only it's good for your brain, but also for your body as well, to make you do things that you probably normally you would think you wouldn't do, because you know, you believe that you can't do it, and maybe you're getting too old. You're allowing the old person to come inside this body that you've got, and eventually an old person will be in that body. But if you believe that there's no old person who will ever live in this body, by the time you're 80, you're probably still bouncing around, going to the gym, doing weights. It's all up to your mind. It's all about how you choose to believe.
On your NBA question, Jeff, there was you have to be tall to play in the NBA, right? But the shortest player ever drafted to the NBA was only 5'3". Did you know that?
Yeah, Muggsy Bogues, he kick a dunk.
That's
as
the
well.
one, Muggsy Bogues, 5'3". So
I've been following that for a very long time.
I'm sure there would have been plenty of people who would have said to Muggsy Bogues, "Don't be ridiculous. There's no way you can play basketball because you're 5'3", right?" But he was in the NBA, so it's possible. You just, you know, you just have to believe.
You need to believe it. Yeah.
I'm impressed that you also know about Muggsy Bogues, man. That's cool.
Giving away my age.
Well, I can't say anything on that topic then.
Thank you. Lola also has a question. Lola, would you like to ask a question?
Thanks, Ryder. Hi, Mario. So my question is, you talk about having a dream, but is it possible to be living too much in the future and not enough in the present? Because I feel like if you're too focused on achieving your dream, you'll lose sight of the present moment and the process of achieving the dream. And so, yeah, how do you ensure that you enjoy the process and not just the end destination?
Now, what I meant to say when I said that is, you need to be living, enjoying your present moment with the vision of your future. So it means that while you're thinking in your future that is your dream, you need to be in the present moment, because the present moment is your future. You understand? So what happens is, for instance, if you, to be specific, if you believe you're going to achieve something, right? That you want to achieve something, you need to live like you already achieved that you want to achieve, and all the emotions that go along with it. And if you bring the emotions of having achieved that, even though you haven't, and you bring them to you right now, and you live in that emotional state, right, that you've already achieved it, you will attract what you want. But you need to live it in the way that you are living right now. So you live right now with emotions. You already achieved your goal, and the goal will just gravitate to you, because it's almost saying, I'm grateful for receiving it. Thank you. You don't have it, but you live with the gratefulness you've already got it. And that day will attract what you want very quickly as well to you.
Okay, thank you, Mario.
I was just thinking, Mario, that listening to you, it's a very different. I mean, you have a very different mindset, yeah, in terms of how you think. So I think most people would kind of struggle to maintain the same mindset that you have. What do you think were there things that formed that in your early years? Like, were there experiences or things that happened in your early years, or was that just like always naturally you?
Well, I've always been on the way that I'm happy with every day since I can remember. I just happy. I don't know why I'm happy. I think that it's because I believe that when I wake up in the morning, I just enjoy being alive, and I just think, oh, well, look, it's great. I can breathe again. I can do the things I want, and I can go and have a coffee, I can have a tea, I can have some milk, I can go and say hello to someone. I can feel that, by being alive, I'm just being part of this whole cosmos, a part of, when I was very young, I used to look at the stars all the time. I think, those stars, they're just so far away. Every star is a sun. How many planets each one of those stars have around them? And I was thinking, wow, it's so small, so tiny, so, insignificant. We're here, and we are in the middle of this big galactic, I guess, spectrum of fantasy that we are in. So for me, every day is like, yeah, perfect. So, but I can choose to be sad. I can choose about, oh, what happened to me yesterday. I can choose about, oh, I lost this. I can choose when I think, well, it doesn't matter. It's just, I'm right now. I'm alive, man. It's just leave all these headaches. They're gone away. I'm here right now. So to me, being happy is the most important thing, because when you're happy as well, you generate a different energy in your body that is much more empowering and more healing than if you're using the energy of lack of, or sadness, or that you lost something, because that energy is destroying your body as well. So I can choose to be, happy or sad or miserable about something. I choose happy every single day. Doesn't matter what happens, I always choose happy.
So I'm guessing what I'm taking from this is that to be able to get the things that you want, you have to be able to choose and decide the kind of feelings and perspectives and beliefs that you want to have.
I heard the last part was very loud, but the one at the beginning I didn't quite get it.
So if I can repeat it for you, it was along the lines of, so in order to get what you want, you have to choose the feelings and choose the beliefs. So really it's about making a conscious decision about how you choose to feel and how you choose to react to things. I think that's what it comes down to, as opposed to just letting whatever, you know, habit or your normal reactions guide you. So it's about being conscious. Is that kind of what you're saying, Mario?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. You need to be conscious about what is happening, but you also need to know that for things to come to you, okay, you can choose when you, for instance, you see an opportunity, right, and you like the opportunity, right? Now, I'm sure that, you know, most people believe that, you know, that there's an energy, a divine energy that we all come from, right? So some people pray, some people talk, some people, you know, do things, you know, and that is when you're talking to that energy, when you're praying, when you're asking people, when you're asking things to happen, right? Now, when your intuition talks to you, that's the same energy talking to you. You know, so it's a kind of the reverse. So when you want something, you need to understand that you need to, you know, suspend your beliefs that you can't do things, and if the intuition guides you to actually go and get that, you just go and get it. It's yours. It's because that intuition or that energy that belongs to you tells you it's okay, you know. So you need to surrender to the process, to surrender. Okay, just go and get it. It's yours. So don't be scared or frightened. It might look like it's very hard, and never ask how. Always say yes. When people start to ask how, they want to start to find wrong things with it, that they try to find faults. All you need to do is say yes, and you just go. You know, nothing bad will happen. When your intuition tells you go, you just go, because nothing bad will happen.
That's awesome. Thank you. Jeffrey also has a question.
All right. So Mario, a couple of things I'm interested in. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Okay. So a couple of things I'm interested in. So it sounds like you were born with this mindset. Is that true, or was there ever a time in your life where you didn't have this mindset, and you know, obviously suffered because of that? And then the second question I have is just wondering whether are you religious? Is there any spirituality that drives your mindset?
Well, no. Look, I think that we're all. I mean, we are spirits. We're not bodies. We are spirits. You know, they're stuck in a body. So, you know, you need to know this difference as well, right? That we're not the body. You know, we are the spirit inside the body. So we all have spirit inside ourselves. But when I was young, I used to, as I said before, I used to always ask very deep questions about, you know, where we're coming from, who we are right now, what are we doing on this planet, where are we going after this. So in that sense, I used to read when I was very young, about maybe 7 or 8. I used to read the Bible, the New Testament, and I used to read it because it had nice pictures, stories, really, really great stories in the New Testament. But those things that I used to read used to ask me questions as to, you know, where's the power that makes people, you know, come from where we come from? Where's the power that makes us live? I mean, how do we breathe? You know, how does the heart pump? How does the lungs function without us telling them to function? Like, we can tell our arms to move around, but who tells the heart to pump? Who tells the lungs to breathe air? You know, so I used to think, well, there must be something here that is not just what we see. There must be things that we don't see, and I believe in the things that we don't see. You know, even if I don't see them, I believe in things that we don't see. I don't really believe in everything that I see, and even sometimes the things I see, I don't believe in them either. But I kind of think that there are more powerful forces that we have inside that we haven't explored, because we don't have yet the, you know, the fundamentals to explore them. But once you realize that you don't need to know fundamentals, all you need to do is just go inside yourself and try and connect your subconscious mind with your conscious mind, right? And that's when everything happens. That's when the magic happens. That's when you realize who you really are. Because that's when you connect to the, you know, universal energy that you really are part of the whole thing. And we are not, you know, we're not our bodies, we're not our things that we have, but, you know, in fact, when we're nobody, our body is not there. It doesn't need to be there, right? So it's inside that it's important. But when you get to connect to these two, you know, minds, you know, the conscious, subconscious mind, and the only separation between the two is the analytical mind. That's the one that actually separates everything, because they know that's wrong, you're wrong, that's wrong, and it doesn't believe in the in the subconscious mind, where all the magic happens in there. So the religious side of things, you know, I believe in my spirit. I believe that, you know, I will not never die. It doesn't matter about my body. I believe in this since I'm very, very young. And I think that everyone's exactly the same. It's just that I'm kind of a bit more out there in terms of, you know, my thinking, that I've got no limits. I'm very, you know, I can very sit down still, and I can ask things to happen, and they normally all happen. You know, anything that I ever wanted, I've always had. You know, and any single thing that I ever wanted, I've always had. I've never had a problem with that, because I believe that, you know, all it is asking and just relaxing in the process that is coming to you. You know, you know that you're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything to hurt anyone. And you believe strong enough that it's going to happen, it just comes to you. I mean, it's some ridiculously stupid big things that I've asked that I thought, well, you know, this is kind of a challenge, but I just relaxed in the process, it will come, and it just all came to me. You know, I can prove this year after year after year. I do things that, you know, probably people won't even imagine. And how it comes, I don't know. It just comes. But to me, if I didn't get it, I would never worry about it. I would say, well, that just, it didn't happen. It's okay. I'll just go and do something else.
Thank you so much, Mario. It was a fascinating discussion that we were able to have with you. I'm sure everyone got something helpful from this session. I would also like to thank everyone for attending this event. And if you want to know more about our upcoming event.
Okay, thank you. It was very hard to hear you, but anyway, thank you very much for inviting me. Thanks everyone for attending. And if you want me to talk with you or each one separate, I can always offer my service to you guys. If I can be of any assistance, you're welcome to contact me through the team.
Thank you very much, Mario. That has been very enlightening. It's very clear to me that you've got a mindset like no one else, and I think I can understand exactly how you're able to do what you do. But it's such a, you know, it's so interesting so watching it. But I think it's for us to live it, if we can experience it, in order to really appreciate how what you're saying. I think a lot of us just need to actually go ahead and practice it. And then, and that's how we can learn how to have that mindset for ourselves.
Now, I'll tell you, never be afraid, because 99.9% of the things you're afraid of never happen. So never be afraid to go for broke, and just go for the biggest goal that you can ever think about, and just go for it. You know, don't be afraid, just go for it. The main thing is go for it. Nothing will go wrong. You just remember that, because when you work towards something with passion, with enthusiasm, with you know, in an inspiring, happy way, nothing will go wrong. Everything will go right. The minute you start to doubt yourself, that's when things go wrong, because it means you don't really want that. So doubt and fear is no good. There's no good practice in any of this stuff. You just need to go, you know, just expect it's going to happen, and relax. Don't try and push the event to happen. Don't try to force it to happen. You know, just relax, and it'll just come to you. Nice and relaxed, it will come to you.
One step at a time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how do you handle disappointment, though? Do you ever get disappointed at anything?
Look, sometimes I feel I get a bad result, and my ego takes over a little bit. But then when I realize it's there, I just chill out and say, well, who cares? You know, tomorrow's another day, and that's it. The next day is just a brand new life for me. Every day is like my birthday. Every single day I treat it as my birthday. It's just another day. So things that happened yesterday, they stay yesterday, and I don't even visit it anymore. I don't worry about it anymore. You know, I've had some pretty big bad things happen, but I don't even think about it past the day. The day that it happened, that's the day that it died, and tomorrow it's a new day. I just forget it. I don't allow it to be present with me. If it's something that's no good, I'll let it die on the day, and after that, I forget it. I mean, some bad things happen, but I just let them disappear from my mind. I just don't pay any attention to them, and I just keep going.
Is there any secret recipe how to not pay attention on the bad thing happens?
The best thing to do is just remember that anything that you drag with you, it'll just expand. Because if you put your thoughts into something, that thought will expand. If You rather put something good in your mind that expands than something bad in your mind that expands. So you need to make the choice, because we're all the choices that we make. So if something bad happens, just deal with it and just forget it. Just leave it in the past and don't drag it with you. Tomorrow's a new day.
Right.
Because you can't live your future having the mind present with you. The future is going to be your future, but you need to leave the mind of the past. The memories just leaving behind you.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This has been a very, very fascinating session. It's good to get that insight into your mind, Mario.
Thank you.